Hello there, this is Britwatch Sports. You're listening to Tournament in a TeaBreak. I'm Ros Satar.
George Bellshaw.
Victoria Monk.
You got a little bit of a treat, actually. We've got Vicky Monk from ESPN joining us tonight.
Yeah, it's great news. The good news for you guys is that you only have to listen to my voice 33.33% of the time tonight rather than 50%. So a big win early doors.
It's probably just as well, actually, because for the most part of that match, I've just been sat next to George. I didn't actually have to even watch the match. I could just hear his reaction to teams' willfulness to want to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. Shall we start with team?
Yeah.
And then finish on a positive note with Dimitrov?
I'm going to be less expletive-ridden right now.
That would be nice.
I just felt Thiem had that match on his racket throughout. I didn't really feel like he was ever going to lose it, and his only purpose to stretch it out was to stop me going to bed early. So
you firmly believe that?
I firmly believe it. I didn't want to bring it up with him in press conference, but if I see him one-on-one later in the week, I'll let him know.
Fantastic.
I'm on to him.
I mean, what were your thoughts, Vicky?
Yeah, I think he just got a bit complacent, really, didn't he? He took his foot off the gas. He was looking so energetic in the first set, whipping his forehands around the court, really leaving Pablo with no option at all. And then in the second, the third game, he really let his head go, and the ball started flying out into the net, and he allowed Pablo to get back in there, really. But as George says, I never really firmly believed that Pablo was going to take it, but he just sort of took his eye off the ball a bit.
I mean, his backhand just went missing in action in that final set. And I think when it's such an established weapon of yours, and it just goes, you could see like the despair. Nothing was working. I mean, Kiki Mladenovic was giving him the evil, so I think he needed to win, not only just to keep his chances alive, but just for an easy life.
He reminded me very much today of like Wawrinka in the first round of a tournament, in the sense that CARRENO-BUSTA is never going to beat you, but he can make you beat yourself. And Thiem, when he's not firing, beats himself so often, and that backhand is such a lethal, beautiful shot when it works, but when it's bad, it is horrendous. I hate watching it, and you could just feel he was kind of beating himself rather than CARRENO-BUSTA doing it. And that's not taking anything away from him. He defends very well, but Thiem is the better player overall, who can like really dominate.
I really felt like in the second set he was really going for those too attacking shots too many times when he really didn't need to. And it cost him. He ended up having wild backhands flying all over the court.
I actually described that whole third set as a war of attrition, and it was actually team against team, and CARRENO-BUSTA was just like one of the spectators, really, because I mean, granted, he had to win this, not only because he needs to keep his hopes alive, but to actually lose to an alternate that's had as awful a run after the US Open as you would be pretty shocking. A shocking way set for world number 4 to end their season. Okay, let's try and change this up to slightly more fluffy things. A very happy Dimitrov, obviously, who just demolished Goffin.
Yeah, Dimitrov was very, very impressive. He kind of said that was his best match of the year, and I would certainly agree. The other one they mentioned was his match against Rafa at the Australian Open, but as he said, if you lose a match, how can you call that your best of the year? I mean, today just everything worked for Dimitrov. Goffin is claiming he was 100% and fine. I won't libel him, by the way, but it didn't look right for him today, one way or another, whether he was just tired or whether that knee is actually a problem. You can understand him keeping his cards close to his chest with the Davis Cup coming as well, but it wasn't good from him. No,
I mean, it was interesting because I asked him whether, you often see when someone has a huge win like that, the very next match is a real letdown because all that adrenaline goes coursing out of your body and you just end up with all the strength of a paper doily. So, he kind of answered it with a yeah, for sure, and then said no, there wasn't a problem at all. It's like, well, which was it? I mean, in the first set, he just wasn't moving at all. In the second set, I think he warmed up a little bit. There seemed to be a little bit more, but you know him for his zipping about and being, you know, so sure-footed. He's like a mountain goat out there. And this, I mean, he looked like me when I'm like kind of, I really can't be bothered to run for that. So I'm just going to stand here and let it whistle by me. I mean, it was, you know, I mean, it gives people like me hope, but there you go.
He did just look totally flat, and not just with his movement around court, but his body language, his facial expressions. I mean, as George says, he looked worlds away from the fiery, sparky, energetic player we saw against Rafa on Monday. That said, we saw a flicker of hope from him as he, but it really amounted to nothing. And wants to be true.
I mean,
just getting back on.
To avoid a Brexit-esque type discussion, obviously 100% means something very, very different in Belgium than it does over here. I mean, you know, I don't know. Props to him for not withdrawing. I think if we'd ended up with the group with 2 alternates, that would really put a dent in this tournament. But you know, I don't know what he's got left in the tank at all.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll find out on Friday when he takes on team just what the extent is. I don't know if today he just kind of got to the stage where he's like, this match is gone, kind of save my energy and try and go again.
But that's an interesting thing. I mean, I said it to you in that match. I mean, you know, watching him in that first set, do you get to a stage in a match, I think, when you know, certainly when you've got a double breakdown, that you think, you know what, sack it, I'm just going to save my energy and try and do something better in the second match, you know, because at that point he really wasn't moving at all. He was just like kind of swinging his arms and hoping that it might connect with a ball, you know. I don't know.
I mean, these guys they always kind of say they're trained to take it point by point, never think further and further beyond. But come on, when you've got like the Davis Cup coming up, the final, realistically, as Goffin, do you believe you can win this tournament? It might be harsh, but I suspect he doesn't genuinely believe he can win this tournament. He barely believed he could beat Nadal, it seemed, on Monday. I mean, he was fighting himself there with the amount of double faults and whatever. But he genuinely can win the Davis Cup.
Yes.
They've got a very good chance. That was quite an even matchup, I think. So yeah, that should be his priority, but we'll see. Doesn't get you points as well, I guess, for next season.
Well, talking of priorities, obviously tomorrow it's winner takes all for Zverev and Sock. So thoughts? Let's start with you.
I mean, it's going to be hard to look past Zverev, really. I think he's been on fantastic form. Although that said, Sock obviously put in a great performance in ousting Cilic on. Gosh, I've lost track of the day.
Yeah. We don't worry.
It's like Wednesday now.
By the time we get to this point, it's just all a blur.
But no, my money is on Zverev. I think he plays a fantastic attacking game, and I think he'll take it.
2 sets or 3?
2.
Okay.
2.
I can't actually honestly remember what I wrote and typed and put live, like literally an hour ago. But anyway.
I think I went 2 tight sets to Zverev as well. But Sock did beat him in their last meeting, and it wasn't an indoor hardcourt.
Are you trying to push your prediction?
Well, my prediction is 2-love to Zverev, but I'm just saying, Sock, I think, has shown here he's up for the big occasion, and we kind of said, and I don't know if it was yesterday, the day before, but we kind of wrote him off a little bit beforehand.
You wrote him off
I
a
wrote
little
him
bit,
off.
George.
Okay, all right, the royal we. But he's done really well, and he seems up for it, and you know, Zverev is still making a lot of errors, despite him. There's a lot of good stuff, but there's a lot of stuff that needs improving, and if Sock fires 100%, who knows? I
think I'll probably put Zverev down in 3. I think Sock's sort of resurgence in his second match really stood out for me. I think he really, I think the butterflies that you get from coming out here for the first time, I think have really subsided, and he seemed to be very much, I mean, he's a lot more nimble at the net, I think. He's got a bit of variety to him. Zverev seems to be, I mean, he's good at the net, but seems to just want to stay back a lot of the time. Maybe he's trying to sort of capitalise on the fact, as we said, whatever day it was yesterday, that you know, when he was playing Federer and rallies went beyond 9, you had to really put your money on Zverev to win that point. And I wonder whether he's going to be of that mind that, you know, if I stay at the back and just dictate from here, then eventually I'll wear him down. I don't know that that's going to work on somebody like Sock. Somebody who loves to serve and volley is going to be wanting to come in and sort of punish him for that.
Sock will force him in as well. He loves a drop shot. He literally will just keep dropping that thing. So if he sits too far back, Sock will hurt him that way as well.
Yeah. And now that he's got his range and is executing that a lot better, I mean, it was the right idea against Federer. Just execution was abysmal. So, I think I think it will be 3. I think it'll be quite tight in the final. I think we're in for as good a match as we saw with Federer and Zverev.
Big shout.
I think so. I know. It's I feel quite giddy. Okay, I think that's pretty much all that we're capable of doing tonight.
We're not going to preview Cilic Federer, the big dead rubber.
Go on then.
Federer's going to win.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to go against you now. Just. Cilic is going to come racing out.
Controversy. We invite someone into our party and she tries to mix things up.
The rules are here. We agree with each other, and it's all very friendly.
I'm not liking this new dynamic.
I suppose the serious question though is, Federer has had 2 pretty tough matches actually for an old man. So is he going to want to sock Cilic all over the place and get off the court really quickly, or is he just going to sort of treat it as a practice session? If he wins, he wins, and if he loses, I mean, I don't think he's going to want to lose, but I don't know that he's got the energy to really punish Cilic.
Well, he can, if he wins the tournament by winning every match, he closes Nadal to, I think, 140 points. So,
yeah,
I mean that's an actual motivation. I think it's a 500-point difference by winning every match here. So it's definitely worth him bothering.
Points mean prizes for sure.
Yeah, and he's not been world number 1 since 2012, and with Rafa already struggling, we don't know the extent of that. This seems like a pretty good chance to close that gap. And he could be world number 1 before the Australian Open.
So, okay. All right. So, 2 easy sets for you?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe easy's harsh. 7-5, 6-3.
Okay. That's precise.
I'm going to be harsh. I'm going to say I think Federer's going to turn up and want to get the job done. And I don't think Cilic is really going to be able to stand a chance, really.
He's got an abysmal record here. I mean, this is just a terrible, terrible place for him. I feel for him because he's a genuinely nice guy and you want genuinely nice things to happen to him, but I think it's just going to be a horror show out there. Okay, well, join us tomorrow. I'm not sure who our guests are going to be tomorrow, but no doubt we'll be here, tired and weary, but cheerful nonetheless. You've been listening to Tournament in a Tea Break.